Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel where today we're going over the Packers' Week 1 victory over the Detroit Lions in dominant fashion as they just basically put belt to butt and had control of this game the entire time. Now, the concept of the video, we're going to go through the scoring plays, overall team stats, individual player stats, and going through what I think went right for the Packers and what went wrong. Spoiler alert. Not a lot went wrong for the Packers, so if you enjoyed the content and want to take this journey of the 2025 NFL season with me, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So let's get started with the scoring breakdown. Start off in the first quarter, the Packers getting off to a hot start with a Tucker Kraft 15-yard pass from Jordan Love to make it 7-0 Green Bay. After the Lions 3-and-out, the Packers went down and got a field goal, a 34-yarder by McManus to make it 10-0. In the second quarter, the Lions got a field goal of their own, a 30-yarder by Jake Bates to make it 10-3. The Packers then got a 17-yard pass from Jordan Love to Jaden Reed to make it 17-3 after a two-play drive. There was no scoring until halfway through the third, with the Lions field goal to make it 17-6, a 27-yarder by Jake Bates. In the fourth, Josh Jacobs had a 3-yard touchdown to make it 24-6 Packers. And then another McManus field goal, this one a 38-yarder, made it 27-6. And the Lions got a garbage time touchdown on a 13-yard pass from Goff to Tesla, which was an absolutely amazing catch to make it 27-13. Overall, the Packers had more yards in the game, 266 to 246, had less turnovers, about equal on first downs, but the Lions had a lot more time of possession, so that makes sense. Only 4 penalties for 40 yards for the Packers. They were 4 for 10 on third down, not great there, but perfect on first downs, and 3 for 5 in the red zone. And the Lions had 10 more minutes time of possession in the Packers, and they still dominated. So take a look at the box score here. Jordan Love had a pretty solid game, went 16-22, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, but he should have had an interception that Brian Branch picked off on a stupid pass trying to get to Tucker Kraft. But because of a defensive holding penalty that was legit, ends up coming out the board, did not take a single sack. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. A 92.1 QBR and a passer rating of 128.6. Josh Jacobs struggled a bit early, but finished up pretty solidly. Went 19 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown. Not much rushing other than that, so only 78 yards on 3.1 average. Receiving, though, that's where we're doing good. Dobbs, 2 for 68 yards with a long of 48. Jaden Reed, 3 for 45 and a touchdown. Wicks, 2 for 30. Kraft, 2 for 16 and a touchdown. Golden, 2 for 16. Jacobs, 1 for 4. Musgrave, 1 for 4. Brooks and Fitzpatrick, 1 for 2. And Williams, 1 for 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different Packers caught a pass today. Very balanced approach. And the defense. Oh my goodness, this defense was incredible. Cooper had 12 total tackles, 8 solo, was all over the field. Quay Walker, 9 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Rashawn Gary, 1.5 sacks, tackle for loss. 3 quarterback hits. Colby Wooden had a quarterback hit. 2 tackles for loss in the run game. Was a massive, massive guy up front. Incredible for him. Keyshawn Nixon had a tackle for loss. Nick Nyman at special teams had 4 total tackles. Really helped show that special teams unit. Lucas Van Ness had half a sack and a quarterback hit. Devontae White had a sack and 3 quarterback hits. Micah Mother-Loving Parsons had a sack in his first game with the Packers. Impacted the game all over the place. Had a ton of pressure up there against Penei Sewell. And that freed up Gary, Wooden, McDuffie, Van Ness, and White all to do their own things as well. Overall, had 4 sacks and 9 tackles for loss against this very good Lions offense here. Evan Williams had an interception against Jared Goff in the second quarter. Savion Williams was solid in the kick returns, but Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden both had very solid punt returns, averaging 10 yards per punt return, which is very, very good. McManus was perfect kicking the ball. 2 for on field goals and 3 for 3 on extra points. And Dan Whelan had an incredible game. 3 punts, 164 yards, 54.7 average, 2 inside of 20, and a long of 65 yards. And so the Lions, Goff, 31 for 35, 225 yards, only a 5.8 yard average, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, was sacked 4 times. The Lions running game only had 46 total yards, 2.1 yards per attempt against the Packers defense, who everyone thought was going to be porous in the run defense there. The longest runner was a 14-yarder by Jahmyr Gibbs. Passing-wise, 6 for 79 yards for Laporta. Amon-Ra, 4 for 45, really held him down there. Gibbs, 10 for 31 yards. And yeah, their defense did not do anything. So key takeaways from this game. One, let's start with the Packers offense. Got off to a great start, mainly because the Packers offensive line kept a clean pocket for Jordan Love all game long. The starting line of Rasheed Walker, Aaron Banks, Elton Jenkins, Sean Ryan / Jordan Montgomery and Zach Tom was very, very good. Though Tom did leave with an injury. Hopefully he's not too severe to keep as more precaution things with a quick turnaround. But Kinnaman, who just came over from the Eagles a couple weeks ago, played just as well Tom did. Kept Jordan Love clean and was excellent. Now, the rushing game needs a bit of work. 3.1 yards per attempt, not great, but the Lions are very stout against a run, so explains that there. And Jordan Love, especially in that first half, was on fire, spreading the ball around to all of these weapons. Not really any drops. I mean, there's one by Jaden Reed that would have been a really nice 30-yard completion that slipped right through his hands. But overall, very impressed with Dobbs, especially was good. Wicks made some great catches as well. And Jordan Love was decisive, clean pocket, delivered some darts. Did have a couple of missed throws here and there, and had that pick that should have been picked off. So not great on that aspect, but still, against a Lions team that he has normally struggled against, played very, very well. Went over the offensive line, be incredible against the pass rush for the Lions, which is absolutely incredible. And let's talk about this defense. Oh my gosh. This defense was incredible. As they completely shut down the best scoring team in football last year. I know Ben Johnson left. That did affect the Lions. It affected the way they're play calling, as I knew it would early in the year. But still, the Packers defense, their whole philosophy is stop the run and only give up like small checkdowns and fly to the ball. And you know what? They did that. They stopped the run very, very well against this really, really good Lions rushing attack. I mean, holding Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery to go under 50 yards total is impressive. And when Jared Goff did have time to throw, we'll get a pass rush in a bit, he was only able to get like completion of like 4 yards, and the Packers immediately swarmed. They played a classic bend, don't break, where they only gave up a couple of field goals until like the very end of the game. And so it was just very, very refreshing to see. I mean, the linebackers Cooper and Walker were incredible. Secondary, a little bit rough. Keyshawn Nixon did get bullied a bit by Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's why having Nate Hobbs would be incredible coming soon. But Nixon did also make some great plays in the screen game. He was flying to the ball around there. So if he can not be the number one corner, that would be excellent for both him and the Packers. John Bullard also got bullied a little bit too. But overall, gotta talk about his defensive line. Micah Parsons is good at football, guys. He only played about a third of the snaps for the Packers. And every time, you can tell that he was a force. I mean, his very first rep as a Packer, he just blew by Penei Sewell, an all-pro tackle, probably the best right tackle in football, and caused the pressure to Jared Goff to throw it away. And then almost every sack that Packers had, he was involved somehow just making pressures, making plays. And his sack of Jared Goff, where he was running down like a lion chasing after an antelope, was awesome to see. I cannot believe still the Cowboys gave this man up. He has like a week of practice and he was doing that crap. Yeah, the Packers front is going to be a problem because that freed up Rashawn Gary to do what Rashawn Gary can do. And that is rush the passer, and also Rashawn Gary was great in the run game as well. And to have a guy like Micah opposite of Rashawn Gary is going to free up Gary so much. Gary's going to have a career year with Micah Parsons there. And that's not even getting into Devontae Wyatt, who was a menace up front all game long, had so much pressure in the face. So now you have Gary, Parsons, Wyatt in the middle, and you got Lucas Van Ness, who showed a lot of stuff today too. That is 4 good to star pass rushers that the Packers have. That's not even having Edgerrin Cooper or Quay Walker come on a blitz. Like, this is... I'm trying not to overreact too much because the Lions did lose 2 starters last year off their offensive line. But this is still one of the best offensive lines in football. And the Packers' defensive line made it look like mincemeat. So Pardon me if I'm a little excited for the rest of this year. And let's shout out Colby Wooden. After trading away Kenny Clark, who was going to be the big man up front, taking on double teams, get messy in the run game. And well, the answer was Colby Wooden. Dude was a problem for this Lions offensive line. He was gobbling up double teams, making plays in the run game, had 2 tackles for loss, and was just absolutely incredible. So, yeah, this defense got me really, really excited, though a little bit sad because if they continue playing the way they are today, they did yesterday, Jeff Hafley's going to be a head coach next year somewhere. But, oh my gosh, that is why you go get a Micah Parsons. So, what does that mean for the Packers? Right now, I mean, just having a win against a division opponent in the Lions is huge setting up the rest of the year because they went 1-5 in the division last year, including 2 losses to the Lions. They were pretty close games, but having this level of dominance against the Lions is incredible. They take on the Commanders on Thursday Night Football, quick turnaround game. That's why we didn't see them try to push Zach Tom or push Nate Hobbs into playing to get ready for the Commanders, which is another contender in the NFC. And if the Packers can beat the Commanders, that's going to be huge. And so, yeah, Packers, great start to the regular season. Cannot wait to see what they do in the future. And yeah, that was an excellent game to watch. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.